Gosh. You know what, guys? If there was one thing that I had to name that I absolutely hate about the hair loss community, it's the fact that we're all just so negative towards one another. Today I'm going to be addressing someone who's been a frequent viewer of my videos for quite some time now. In fact, I'm sure they're even a subscriber. However, this dude, for some reason, always feels the need to analyze every single one of my videos and always nitpick the most negative point. And you know, that's fair enough. It's fair enough for everybody to have their own opinion. When I started doing YouTube videos, the last thing that I hoped for or expected was for everybody to agree with me. In fact, I welcome criticism. But what I don't welcome is negativity where it just is not needed. And I feel when it comes to this guy, this is exactly what he does. I'm gonna read out his most recent comment for you. You, like every other evangelically bold YouTuber, are wrong. Balding is never a positive for appearance and rarely a neutral. Numerous studies have shown that balding and bald men are perceived by others as older and less attractive. So contrary to your airy-fairy abstract point of view, bald men's anxieties about their appearance are not in their head, but very much reflective of reality. Sorry to take a rather harsh tone, but it really irritates me to see someone spread blatant misinformation pushing a one-size-fits-all embrace it brah rhetoric. Damn. So let me address this. Number one, you say that there are numerous studies that bald men are perceived as older and less attractive. You say that for this reason, bald men's anxieties are justified because of the real life statistics. Fair enough, I won't argue with that. But a key word that you used in this little rant of yours was the word perceive. You claim that bald men are perceived as less attractive, and yes, to a certain degree this may be true. But since you've shown yourself to be a believer of perception, then is it not true that a bald man can overcome the odds by changing the way he perceives himself? Your argument is that numerous studies have been shown that balding men or bald men are less attractive. But what you didn't mention is despite that fact, millions of balding men have proven time and time again that we can overcome the odds. If I were to walk through my hometown today, I guarantee you I would be able to spot plenty of balding men or bald men with partners, girlfriends, or taking a stroll with a beautiful family. And that is because perception isn't just based on how others perceive us, it's also based on how we perceive ourselves. If everybody were to base their self-perception on what the studies and statistics say in life, then everybody would be unhappy. On top of this, consider the demographics of the studies you've mentioned. Whose opinions are the studies gathering? Is it older women? Is it teenagers? Every demographic is going to have a different opinion. For example, for girls between high school years and their early 20s, there is a good chance that the only balding men that they know are their dad or their uncle. So of course, they will associate balding or bald men as less attractive. Cause not all of them, but a good majority of younger ladies will be more impressionable into wanting something that's typically attractive. For example, the guy that you would see in the movies. Ask a woman in her mid-20s to 30s, I guarantee you she'll be singing a different tone. Number two, the other point you mentioned was that men's anxieties towards appearance is not in their head, but is very much reflective of reality. Which is exactly why I don't get your negativity. This channel is inspiring hundreds, if not thousands of men to let go of the way the world perceives them and instead focus on the way they perceive themselves. The fact is, it's kind of funny because in one of my previous videos, you said this: there is no such thing as internal confidence. Confidence is but an illusion that results from how we feel about ourselves, and how we feel about ourselves results from how others treat and perceive us. How we are treated and perceived is affected for the most part by the way we look. The truth hurts, doesn't it? The key thing that you mentioned here was confidence is an illusion that results from how we feel about ourselves. Well, guess what? If confidence is merely an illusion, does that not mean it can be altered and shaped into what we want it to be? Because again, if you take a look at this channel and the thousands of men who have took inspiration from the videos on it, it is quite clear that the way we feel about ourselves can be changed, especially when we quit focusing on the negative. You also mentioned in this video, how we are treated and perceived is affected for the most part by how we look. All I can say to that is, you're hanging out with the wrong fucking people if they're belittling you for how you look. It isn't difficult. The people that we associate with, as well as our environments, can play a major role in how we feel about ourselves. But it is still our choice of who we choose to associate with. Number three, the point that quite frankly did irritate me a little bit. And the funny thing is, I feel like this is partly something you wanted to do. You claim that my message is a one-size-fits-all concept, and you also claim that I'm spreading misinformation in my videos. Bruh. The people who watch my videos, they're usually in a bad place, and they need someone they can relate to, someone who can give them a more positive outlook. So it really does baffle me how somehow you can claim that's misinformation. Quite frankly, there is no misinformation being spread here. The only thing that is being spread at this point is your negative bullshit. You know what? I truly am thankful that you emerged as one of my critics at this point in my life. Because had you emerged 3 years ago when I was anxious as hell filming that first video of when I shaved my head, you would have got to me. And this is what pisses me off. I'm thick-skinned, I can take the criticism. But the thing I've grown to dislike about the hair loss community is that whenever a guy steps up and tries to make light of a negative situation, he seems to get shot down. The community that we are a part of need to realize that fighting amongst each other isn't gonna get us ahead. The whole reason that I make these videos in a way is because I'm somebody who gets it. I get what it's like to look at myself in the mirror and hate what I see. But I also know what it's like to overcome that. By my estimate, the pain of hair loss is something that truly led me to becoming a man. If I chose to, I could have let the anxiety consume me. I could have easily looked at what society was saying and let it break me. But just as you said, my friend, confidence is an illusion that results from how we feel about ourselves. And all I did was choose to feel differently. And it didn't happen overnight. In fact, it took all the willpower in the world. But looking back, it made me stronger. Take a moment to put the studies aside. To be honest, looking back, being less attractive definitely was a worry for me, but I knew that there was nothing to gain from sitting at home and reading the stats. Instead, I chose to be a man of action. I said screw it, if I truly am that less attractive, then I might as well take my chances. I'm gonna go out there and talk to some girls. I got nothing to lose anymore, right? Did I fall on my face and get rejected a few times? Yes. Did I get rejected and looked down upon by every woman I approached? No, and that's all that mattered. I wasn't looked at as attractive by every woman. In fact, I wasn't looked at as attractive by every woman when I had hair. But the fact that at least a handful of women found me attractive was all the proof and reassurance I needed. The studies don't mean shit, because you can't be perfect in every aspect of life. But our imperfections do not determine our victories, which is why I will continue to spread my message and make these videos. Because I want you guys to realize that you are more than what the studies say. It's time that we wake up and put this negative bullshit to bed. Because our happiness is on no one but us. Fuck the studies, fuck the statistics, be happy. Period. Also guys, just before I go, I want to say that I'm planning to do a QA video in the future where I basically answer all your questions, whether it be about hair loss, life, dating, anxieties, whatever it may be. So what I want you guys to do, think of any question you have and just leave a comment down below and I'll make sure I get to answering it. If not, you can also go to my Instagram account at rickybenang, leave me a DM, leave me a comment, whatever it may be, and I will try and get your questions answered in a video at some point. I really want to start involving you guys a little bit more and making a bit of a community amongst us. So be sure to leave a comment. Thank you very much.